Your defense is in trouble. Nketiah's in the room. Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0 in a convincing, comprehensive, and comfortable victory for the Gunners. We don't quite go top of the Premier League because Tottenham, of course, won yesterday, but we do continue to put the pressure on them as we are now 2 points behind Tottenham and have taken another convincing win. And I'm delighted the way it went. Absolutely delighted. I'm not going to say that I expected us to not win this game because let's be honest about it. Sheffield United are the biggest banker 3 points you can get in the whole Premier League. If you don't beat Sheffield United, there's something clearly wrong with you. This team, after 10 Premier League games, has 1 point and 9 losses. It is simply horrendous, tragic, titanic form from them. Let's be real about it, man. Like, they aren't really going anywhere. So I'm delighted we won the game. But one thing I'm more delighted about is the manner in which we won the game. We won this game 5-0. 5-star performance, 5 goals, a hat-trick from Eddie Nketiah. The perfect day, genuinely the perfect day. Top it off with a clean sheet as well. We got some rotation in the squad. We allowed players like Odegaard to sit out, Gabriel Magalhaes to sit out, and we still got the 3 points. I'm absolutely delighted with the way it went. Absolutely delighted, to be honest with you guys. I do think, to be honest with you, right, that going into this game, I was saying, you know what, this is actually the perfect game for Arsenal. We've come off the back of a game in Sevilla, tough away game in the Champions League. We now managed to play at the Emirates at home to the easiest game you're going to play all season long. Sheffield United at home, and we did really well in it. To be honest, I thought we started the game, I'm not going to say slow, but we did start a little bit casual. We weren't really at them from minute 1. But when we got that first goal, the whole game flipped, and we were by far the better team. Sheffield United had no real attacking outlet. They were playing to defend, and when you play like that to defend, right, it's fine if the game's 0-0 for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes. But as soon as you concede 1 goal, the game's only going to go one direction because you're only in, to be honest, you're only in the game to defend. You haven't really got another side to your football game. So as soon as they went 1-0, the floodgates well and truly opened, and we managed to bag 2, 3, 4 and to accumulate off with a 5-0 victory. And that first goal by Eddie Nketiah, anyone that's a young player around here that wants to be a striker, watch that goal from Eddie Nketiah. Unbelievable. I'm going to talk through it right here with my tactical analysis about the goal. So the ball gets whipped in, right, from Declan Rice. And Eddie Nketiah, first of all, his positioning is superb. He gets himself a little bit away from Austin Trusty, the defender, but he's also within touching distance. Now, this first touch is brilliant for 2 reasons. One, the first touch, puts the ball out of his feet, so he's able to strike it first time after the touch. Secondly, he puts the ball between the defender and himself. That is an unbelievable thing to do. Why is that so good? Because that means now the defender is forced to either back off him or commit to him and give away a foul, which would lead to a penalty. And the third thing is, where he placed the ball, he placed it in the middle of the goal to open up the angle for him. Because when he first took the touch, he was at the corner of the goal. So if he took his touch across his body, he would have been closing down the angle, made it a tight left-footed finish. But that touch of his right peg was brilliant because it allowed him to then be able to open up the whole goal, center of it, and just stroke it home. That first goal was a clinic in clinical finishing and beautiful striking efforts from Eddie Nketiah right there. I was absolutely delighted with how he took that first goal. And he deserves it as well. And to be real with you guys, look, those of you that have been around it before know I am not Nketiah's biggest fan. I'm not. I still think we need to sign a striker in January. But here's how it is. We haven't got a striker. There's still we haven't got a striker that can be signed right now. There's still 2 months until the January transfer window. We haven't got Jesus, is what I meant to say. We haven't got Gabriel Jesus for the foreseeable future. Arteta said he's out for around 3 weeks or so. So we've got Eddie Nketiah or Kai Havertz as our only 2 registered strikers at this football club. So we need Eddie Nketiah to start firing. He needs to start getting in the room and start scoring goals, man. Their defense needs to be in trouble. And if he scores like this, that's exactly what we need to see. Now, let's not make a mistake about it. It is Sheffield United. It is, as I said before, the easiest game you will get in the Premier League this season. But you're a striker. Anyone that's a striker knows this. It doesn't matter who you play. Goals are goals. And goals bring confidence. And confidence brings more goals. It's a double-edged sword in a positive manner. If Eddie Nketiah starts getting a hat-trick today, his first hat-trick for Arsenal Football Club, that'll give him a world of confidence for his next game. Now, is he going to start in midweek in the Carabao Cup? I'm not too sure. But next week, we've got Newcastle United away. And Newcastle United away is one of the toughest games you can get in the Premier League. That is an absolute fortress to go to. So we need Eddie Nketiah firing in that football match. So it was really good today. And to be fair, all of Eddie Nketiah's goals were really good. I spoke about the first goal. Let's talk about the second goal. We scored 2 goals from set pieces today. And this one was superb as well. Ball gets whipped in, yeah? It's a knockdown. And who's first on the scene? Eddie Nketiah to strike into the top corner. Brilliant finish, man. Also, really good from Ben White to pin the goalkeeper and be able to, without giving away a foul, give the goalkeeper no chance of really getting a clean catch on the ball, which gave us a second chance to get the goal. But then we could talk about Eddie Nketiah's third goal, the hat-trick. I mean, we're talking about clinical finishing right there, man. Ball goes to him, right foot, doesn't even look at the strike. They talk about in basketball having the hot hand fallacy, right? That was the hot foot fallacy by Eddie Nketiah. He didn't even look at the goal. He just thought he had confidence coursing through his veins that he just struck it first time and sweet as a nut into the top corner. It was an unbelievable finish from Eddie Nketiah. And that was his hat trick. And look, I'm so happy for the man, genuinely, because he would have seen it. He would have seen everyone on Twitter and X and Instagram and YouTube. When everyone saw that Gabriel Jesus is going to be out for a few weeks, everyone going, oh, back to Eddie Nketiah up front again. Oh, we're going to have to deal with Eddie Ball up front. He would have heard it because his goal for his celebration for his first goal was that he went like this for his first goal. He was almost like, yeah, can you hear me? That's what I can do in this team if you start me. That's what Eddie Nketiah was saying with that first goal. So look, I'm delighted for him. Look, make no mistake about it. I still do want Arsenal to sign a striker in January. I still have my eyes set on Ivan Toney from Brentford to be signed in January. But in the meantime and in between time, we have to deal with the strikers we've got. And Eddie Nketiah right now is our most clinical striker at the club, especially with Jesus out injured. So we have to deal with him up front. Let's talk about some other performances on the pitch as well, though, because although it was the Eddie Nketiah show, I think other players deserve some light as well. I think Kiwior coming into the team was really good. I mean, he hasn't been in the team for a while, but I thought he was superb in there. Rice, as always. I mean, Rice is just putting in solid 8 out of 10 performances week in, week out, man. He's been our best player of the season so far, Declan Rice. Brilliant. Emile Smith Rowe as well, man. Big up Smith Rowe. It's his first start in the Premier League for so long, it seems, and he played really well in there. I don't think he was unbelievable, but I thought he had a genuinely a good game, Emile Smith Rowe. And actually, to be fair, credit to Mikel Arteta, because he dropped Martin Odegaard, and that's a very brave thing to do. That's your captain. But I think it was the right thing to do. I've spoken about Odegaard in recent videos and also on my Instagram. Feel free to check it out, by the way. YFootball23 on Instagram. Check out my Instagram. And my Twitter will be in a link in the description. And he dropped Martin Odegaard. I've been saying that in recent games, Odegaard's not been at the best of his ability. Now, that could be because he's had a drop in form, but also it could be because of the fact that we played Jorginho, Rice, and Odegaard. And something about that means that we don't get the best out of Odegaard's game when Jorginho and Rice are playing together. So one way or another, he dropped Odegaard today. So you have to give him a lot of credit for making that call. And I thought having a midfield of Havertz and Smith Rowe, they weren't brilliant, but to be fair, they didn't need to be. You're playing against Sheffield United. When you're playing that midfield partnership, you just need to be unselfish and keep the ball progressing from defense to attack and give the ball to the danger men, the likes of the Bukayo Sakas, Gabriel Martinez, and today, the main man, Eddie Nketiah. So I thought he did that brilliantly, Smith Rowe, today. I thought he was really good at progressing the ball up the pitch. Zinchenko had a good game in there as well, to be fair. I thought he got dropped, obviously, midweek for Sevilla, and Tomiyasu got on the score sheet. But I think that's really good now because with this Arsenal team, we've now got multiple methods of attack. And that's very important. You need to have options in football. That's one of the most important things to have. Because I felt like last season, our strongest 11 was very strong, but it was too one-dimensional. It reminds me of Tottenham this season. Tottenham's strongest 11 are really good, but you get a few injuries. Tottenham can't really adapt how they play. You saw Ben Davies play at left-back. They weren't really working. You had to bring on Emerson Royal at half-time, Ange Postecoglou. Whereas with Arsenal now, we're a bit more adaptable. We're a bit more resilient. We can deal with injuries. We're more anti-fragile. Yes, it was Zinchenko today, but on the weekday against Sevilla, it was Tomiyasu in a more defensive back four. So we've got different ways to approach the football game. And I think that is always going to be a benefit. So I think with Arteta now, we just got to keep the ship moving in the right direction. Now, our next game obviously is in midweek against West Ham United in the Carabao Cup. It's not a game I particularly care about in the sense that it's not a Premier League or Champions League game, but it's a competition I'd still like to win. I'm still of the competitive edge that I want to win every single thing we're in. But it is the game that I would rotate players in. Because next Saturday, we've got Newcastle United away. And Newcastle United away is a litmus test. It's a tough match. We went there last year and got a superb victory. But the year before, we went there when our top 4 hopes were on the line and completely fell apart. We capitulated. This game, Newcastle away on Saturday, is a massive, massive game for us. A Saturday night evening kickoff. If we can get 3 points in convincing manner, just like we did last season, I'd be absolutely delighted. Absolutely delighted, to be honest. So, yeah, Guys, overall, I'm super delighted with how things went today in today's game. I thought Eddie Nketiah has got the confidence going forward. I thought Eddie Nketiah, to be fair as well, not only in terms of his actual shooting ability, I thought his positioning was brilliant as well, because that's half of being a striker. It's not just your finishing ability, it's being in the right place to get the goals. And I thought he had that in abundance today, Eddie Nketiah. So yeah, overall delighted. Let's get into some of your comments. And if you are new around here, by the way, make sure you do subscribe, my road to 5,000 subscribers, as I review every single Arsenal match live on this channel. Jeff, appreciate you on stream, my friend. You've been doing really well. Sheffield simply a championship side playing in the Premier League. Yeah, I could not agree more with this one, man. Could not agree more with this one. They're just not at the level of a Premier League team. Everything about them today, they just lacked everything. They lacked quality, intensity. They didn't have both sides of their game on lock today. They were poor defensively, and they were even worse going forward. I'm sad to say it, but Sheffield United are going down. So I think on combined predictions, we had the 5-0 correct. Yes, I put 2-0, you put 3-0. So yeah, combined, we got it right. Beriket, appreciate you, my friend. You're doing really well. Wow, Arsenal. Yeah, what a win. And guys, also, I do want to say this about the victory from Arsenal, because Arsenal have had a lot of wins this season, right? We're 7 wins and 3 draws after 10 Premier League games. But we haven't had a lot of wins in convincing manners in terms of the score sheet. I actually think this season, our performances haven't actually been top tier. I still think we can find another gear to get to. That's obviously, you could say, a little bit harsh given we've got 7 wins and 3 draws. But anyone that's watched every single Arsenal game and watched us last season as well would know that we haven't actually hit the heights of last season. We're still a little bit off it. I think even today, look, bar the first 20, 30 minutes, we were superb. But until we got that first goal, we were still a little bit sluggish and a little bit casual in midfield. We weren't quite cutting them open until we got that first goal, and then the floodgates started to open. So I do think, to be fair with Arsenal, I was really delighted to get a convincing victory, because PSV at home, Bournemouth away, and Sheffield United today at home was the only games I can really remember us getting convincing victories. Every other game in this season has been not necessarily nervy, but has been in the balance. Even the Nottingham Forest win at the start of the season was only 2-1. Everton away was only 1-0. Do you get what I mean? It's been very few times this season where we've actually blown apart the other team, and I was comfortable lying backwards, popcorn in my lap after about 50, 60 minutes. So I was really delighted that this game had no real fireworks about it. It was just a convincing, comfortable victory. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered, because you can't go through every game in the season with your heart rate going through the roof. I've had enough of those games so far this season. The Man United game, the Man City game, etc. towards the end. You don't want any more of those football matches. Every now and then, you do like the games where it's just a comfortable, convincing victory. They keep the ship moving in the right direction. Yes, you need to grind out results. Yes, every now and then, you're going to need to put in a really resolute 1-0 away day performance, grinding it out where you're not at your absolute best, and get the point somehow, some way, like we did last week against Chelsea, where we were clearly not performing anywhere near the peak of our powers. But for the most part, you should be, if your team aiming to win the Premier League title, you should be coasting for the majority of Premier League matches. Games like Sheffield United at home should be, let's be honest, it should be a coast to the finish line. You should not need to be exerting too much energy. It should be in cruise control on your way to 3 points. And I felt we had that today. I don't think at any point in the game I was sitting there going, "Ooh, we could actually get outdone here." I was waiting for the goal to happen, and when the goal did happen, it was a nice, relaxing, calm performance. I was there with my snacks in hand, enjoying the game. Arsenal for life. Appreciate your stream. My friend, doing really well. Did Havertz have a good game? I couldn't watch it, sadly. He was okay, Havertz. I think Havertz is still yet to hit the heights he's really hit for his time at Bundesliga, and that goes to his time at Chelsea as well. The thing about Havertz is, right, if I look at Havertz's games at Arsenal so far, I've watched every single Arsenal game this season. For me, he's had 3 good games. It was Man City in the Charity Shield. It was Man City again in the in the Premier League. Crystal Palace away was a decent game in that second half when we went down to 10 men, and also against Chelsea, came off the bench and played very well as well. So when I look at Havertz's best games for Arsenal, it's actually as a number 9 being an outball for us when we're struggling to get out of our own half. That's when Havertz is at his best. And unfortunately, for that to be the case, we don't need to play that way for the majority of matches. The only time you need to play that way is when you're playing against a team like Man City, who are sadly a better team than us on the football at times, and when you're playing against teams that are camping us in our own box and we need to defend the victory. That's when Havertz is at his best. When he's playing in this number 10, number 8 position, it just doesn't quite click for me, in my opinion. Now, didn't think he was bad today. I thought Havertz was actually okay in this team. But my favourite position for Havertz is playing in that false 9, number 9, a target man. When I saw that game against where he played in the Carabao Cup, I was like, yes, that is what I want to see Havertz do. Be that false 9 to link up play and give us an out ball when we're struggling to pass out the back. That's where Havertz is at his best. I don't think he's really clicked into gear when he plays in this number 10, number 8 position, to be honest with it. Malia, appreciate your stream. My friend, doing really well. Great warm-up session. I'm glad to see Emile Smith Rowe. Yeah, myself as well, man. Big up seeing Emile Smith Rowe because it has been a long road to recovery for him. In that season where it was after the COVID years, the All or Nothing documentary season, Emile Smith Rowe had one of his best years ever. Him and Saka were on fire for us. It's where it created the chant, the Saka and Smith Rowe chant. But since then, Smith Rowe got injured and Ødegaard's kind of taken over Smith Rowe's position, and we haven't quite seen Smith Rowe get back into the football team. Now, I have seen Arteta and his thoughts on Smith Rowe, and to be honest, I don't think Arteta loves Smith Rowe, and that's okay. I don't mind Smith Rowe, but if Arteta doesn't like Smith Rowe, it's his call. He's the manager. What I didn't understand, though, was this brother's obviously got a lot of potential. He's a young 23-year-old, got bags and bags of potential, Smith Rowe. So if you don't rate him, I would have sold Smith Rowe on. I wouldn't have sold him to a Premier League club because of his potential, but at least would have sold him abroad. So at least let his career flourish somewhere else, because Smith Rowe is too much of a potential, too good of a footballer in terms of his ability to just sit on the bench for us. You need to give him more minutes, and he's been doing so. He's been getting more minutes recently, came off the bench against Chelsea, obviously started today as well. But prior to those 2 games, he was barely getting a kick on the football field. And that's not even on the starting 11, nor on the bench for us. So I do think, to be honest, that I want to see Smith Rowe get more minutes. And if he's not getting more minutes, I'd sell him because he's got sell-on value, given his age and given the performances we've seen of him in his career thus far. So I'd sell him on and replace him with a player that you actually would want to play. Arteta is the manager. I have full faith in him that he is the manager and can make the right decisions for this football club. And if that means he wants to sell certain players, so be it. Just don't waste players' potential, because Smith Rowe's got too much potential to sit and not get any minutes for us. That's my thoughts on it. Havertz really didn't add much there. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he was at his best. I think he's better as a false 9 when we're trying to actually play off, like basically play long ball a bit more and play in that manner rather than pass at the back. That's why I think Havertz offers the most to this Arsenal team. I'm glad we got to see many of the different players. Yeah, glad to see we got some rotation going. El Neni got some minutes, for example. Tomiyasu came on at right back, etc. Players like that. Reece Nelson, I'm a massive fan, I've got some minutes. So this was a perfect game. We didn't exert too much energy. We got 5 goals. Nketiah got a hat-trick. We got a clean sheet and no injuries. Perfect afternoon at the Emirates Stadium for us. So I'm delighted with everything. We definitely have squad depth now. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, guys. That's exactly what I mentioned. It's so important because now we've actually got an anti-fragile and resilient squad. Last season, our starting 11 was brilliant, superb, one of the strongest in world football. But we got a key injury and it went very much pear-shaped. Saliba got injured, the whole team tanked. Partey got injured, we were struggling. Jesus got injured, we were struggling a little bit. Nowadays, we've got more of an anti-fragile squad. We've got adequate replacements in the team. Someone made this point, and I 100% agree with it. For you to be a top team that wants to fight on multiple fronts, you can't just have 11 amazing players. You have to have at least 16 amazing players, where if any of those 11 players if there's any combination of those 16 players, 11 of them starting on the pitch, you need to be able to be confident that you're going to get a good result in that football match. I think we're building that now. You've got Arsenal's strongest 11, then you throw in Vieira off the bench, Havertz off the bench, Tomiyasu off the bench, Trossard off the bench. Do you get what I mean? A Jorginho potentially off the bench, a Smith Rowe off the bench. These are 5 or 6 fringe players that can get into the starting 11 and still offer good minutes. Trossard, for example, he's basically a starter in terms of his quality. Similar things going on with other players around the football club. Tomiyasu can start in certain matches. We've got different ways to approach the football match. Whereas last season, it was Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Partey, Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. That was our starting 11, no two ways about it. Nowadays, we've got different opportunities and how we want to approach the game. It makes us more versatile and harder to really plan for. On the weekend, today, we go for Zinchenko at left back. Against Sevilla midweek, we go for Tomiyasu at left back. We want to play a bit more defensive and have 4 centre-backs across the back 4. Do you get what I mean? We have multiple ways to approach this football match now. And I think that's very important because A, it makes you more resilient and able to play in multiple different areas. And 2, it makes you harder to plan against. Who is Arsenal going to play in their team? We don't know. And that's a benefit if everyone's being productive, which is what is the case so far. So I'm delighted so far, man. Plus, goal difference is better than Tottenham. Yes, and that's why I'm delighted with the fact we were able to win this game and score the goals we did, because I didn't want to see us just win this game 1 or 2-0. I really wanted to see us go forward and get a really good goal difference, because who knows, goal difference can be an indicating factor. And win games like 5-0 give a lot of confidence around the squad. And you need that every now and then. Not every single game can be a grind out 1-0, 2-0 victory. You need to have some convincing wins on the score sheet. And that was definitely the case today. But the bad thing is you won't get an easier game than Sheffield United all season long at home. 15's our goal difference, indeed. Eddie is good in the big games. Is he? Is it, to be honest? I wouldn't call this a big game. Eddie Nketiah, to be fair, if I'm honest with him, he's really good at home. I think Eddie Nketiah is much better at home than he is away from home. That's just my thoughts on it. But before this game, Eddie Nketiah had 2 goals in 9 appearances. So don't kid yourself that he's been doing amazing so far this season. But today was a really good game for him. And I'm delighted. Why? Because I back all the players in this football team. If you're wearing this Arsenal shirt, I will back you. And whether we like it or not, guys, we haven't got any other striker than Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Eddie Nketiah. And right now, Jesus is going to be out for the foreseeable future. Arteta says a few weeks. What does a few weeks mean? Is it 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? Who knows? Anyway, there's no two ways about it. Until at least January, when we can sign a striker, it is just Eddie Nketiah that's going to be playing for us until Jesus comes back from his injury. So we need to get behind the man. And the good thing is, goals for a striker is unbelievable in terms of it breeds confidence, and confidence breeds more goals. Being a striker is very simple and it's a very easy and very hard position. It's easy because you get goals, you will perform better. Your performances are judged on goals. Even if Eddie Nketiah did 0 press today, even if Eddie Nketiah could not make a single right pass today, he would have got an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 match rating because he scored 3 goals. That's just how it is as a striker. You get goals, we can forgive the other parts of your game. Just bag us a hat-trick and we won't mind. Do you get what I mean? But also, it's very difficult because if you don't get goals, you get judged on the very minuscule things. When a striker doesn't get goals, suddenly they get judged on their press. They get judged on their link-up play. And I don't think Eddie Nketiah has got the greatest press. I don't think Eddie Nketiah is one of the better link-up players. I think Jesus is much better in that department. So Eddie Nketiah quite literally needs to get goals on the score sheet for him to have a really good game at this football club. And I think we need that from him because goals are the name of the game. Whether we like it or not, Man City won the treble last season because they upgraded Gabriel Jesus to Erling Haaland. Now, Eddie Nketiah won't get the Erling Haaland goals from last season. I assure you that. But we needed to score more often than not. We needed to bag a goal at least, to be honest, 15 goals a season should be the aim if you're a striker at Arsenal Football Club, given you've got the likes of Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard supplying you, Vieira, etc. You should be getting at least 15 goals a season leading the line. And I think that should be the aim for Eddie Nketiah. We need a player that can get us 20 goals a season. I don't think it's going to be Eddie Nketiah, but someone has to stand up and do it. And right now, he scored 3 goals today. He's going to be starting a few games now. He's been calling for that. He's been calling for the ability to start multiple matches in a row. Let's see what he does with it. Happy for him, myself as well. See you when I appreciate joining the stream. I've ended up doing really well. Good game for Arsenal. Hashtag ban Bowley. Very good game for Arsenal, man. Played fantastic. Chelsea, on the other hand, lost 2-0. Poor result for them. I thought their performance wasn't horrible, but they couldn't put the ball in the back of net, and Brentford punished them. Bellingham's second goal late to beat Barcelona 2-1. Yeah, Real Madrid are firing, man. Firing on all fronts. Hey, C1, hopefully we can get a great win against Newcastle. Yes, we need to beat Newcastle next week. I will be here streaming on this channel for Newcastle versus Arsenal next weekend, next Saturday, 5:30 p.m. The game starts. 7:30 the stream will start on this channel. I'll also be streaming in midweek for the West Ham versus Arsenal game in the Carabao Cup, so do not miss it. Subscribe down below and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future stream on this channel. And also make sure to check me out on X/Twitter and Instagram. All my links will be in the description. And also, if you're a diehard Arsenal fan like myself, become a channel member. You get access to every single preview this season that includes Arsenal games. You do not want to miss it. Amen, I appreciate you on the stream. I think they're doing really well. Credit to Eddie for lighting up a game which was otherwise seemingly slow and boring in the first half. 100% agree with you. And I made this point as well. I think before Eddie Nketiah scored that goal, we were a little bit laborious. We weren't exactly free-flowing. It seemed a little bit cagey. And there was a little bit of nervous tension around the Emirates. But like we always say, when you're playing against teams like low blocks, that first goal is almost like 2 goals. It's a killer. The floodgates open. Because the team's only game plan, like Sheffield United today, was defend, defend, defend. And when you break down that defensive structure, you're going to find goals. And we did that. And after that, Sheffield United didn't really know what to do. They basically just let themselves be cut wide open. And we cut through them like a hot knife through butter, to be honest with you guys. So, yeah, I'm delighted. So, big up Eddie Nketiah for getting the first goal because that is a massive part for us. And also, big up him as well for his other 2 goals. The second goal was a clinical finish. And that third goal, I mean, I said it before, right? In basketball, you have the hot hand fallacy when you're shooting. That was the hot foot fallacy. He didn't even look at the goal. The ball got supplied to him from Emile Smith Rowe. He did not even look at the goal. He just looked down the football and struck it. Sweet as a nut, nestled into the top corner. Fantastic finish from Eddie Nketiah, man. Fantastic. Xhaka is the missing piece.
Well, Xhaka's unfortunately gone, man. We can't look back on the past. But yeah, I would have loved Xhaka to stay in this football team. I'm a massive fan of Granit Xhaka. But look, he's gone now. We're going to have to move on with life without Granit Xhaka. And Rice has come in, and Rice has been superb. Everything I wanted for 105 million. One of the reasons we're not looking as good as last season is Kai Havertz. He plays almost every game, but almost is invisible on the pitch. Now, here's the thing, right? I do agree with you in the sense that I don't think Havertz is good enough to start for Arsenal. And I do think, to be honest, that Havertz is better as a striker, to be honest. I don't think he's best in this number 8, number 10 position. But here's the thing, right? Havertz just doesn't really suit Arsenal in my eyes. Now, that's not a disrespect to Havertz. That's just his play style. I like Arsenal when we play really intense, forward-thinking, forward football in terms of everyone's running, intense stuff. Havertz is not an intense footballer. He's a very much a classical music type player. Slow it down. Be very much very slow and timely with your passes and no real urgency to your game. Whereas what Arteta likes to bring, and he likes to bring the urgent footballers, get the ball and run with it. Martinelli gets the ball and charges at the opposition. Same with Bukayo Saka. So there's very much a disillusion with what Havertz brings to the team and what Saka and Martinelli brings to the team in that respect. Now, I personally like the urgency. That's why I prefer watching players like Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, because I know when they get the football, their first thought is run with it. Go forward and run, charge at the opposition. Whereas no, Havertz doesn't really run. He's more just saunders around the football pitch, where he's just kind of like moving around at his own pace. There's no real urgency to his game. But look, if he's going to be in a team, we're just going to have to hope we get the most from him. I like Havertz as a number 9 coming off the bench. I think that's where he's been at his most effective for us. I don't love him in this number 10 position. I would much rather play Odegaard and Vieira as the 2 number 8s if I had a choice, to be honest with you guys. But he's playing minutes, and that's just how it is, man. It's just how it's going to be. VD Predict, appreciate your stream. My friend, they're doing really well. Bagging the 3 points and goals. Yeah, exactly, man. Brilliant stuff, man. And the fact we were able to get the what's it called? The hat-trick from Eddie Nketiah, and also goals from Vieira, who's yet to score this season, and also Tomiyasu. You could tell Tomiyasu was delighted, bro. Tomiyasu celebrated like he won the Champions League, man. Big up him. It's his first goal for Arsenal Football Club in his 50th appearance in the Premier League as well. So yeah, big up Tomiyasu, man. And actually, that reminds me, and this is long overdue, long overdue. But Tomiyasu, I'm going to have a little appreciation about Tomiyasu right now. Because this brother's one of the most underrated, unsung players at this football club, man. Tomiyasu does not get anywhere near the appreciation he deserves. This brother just puts in performances. He doesn't complain when he's not starting. He's only ever had 1 or 2 bad games this football club. This is his 50th Premier League appearance. And tell me 5 bad games he's had for this club. The only bad game I can remember is Man City in the Premier League, where he gave away a goal to Kevin De Bruyne, and Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Other than that, Tomiyasu's been superb. I think he hasn't put a foot wrong. Yes, he's not got the household name that other players might have in defense, but this brother will always put in a performance for you. And that goal was superb for him, man. I celebrated it as well, just like you, Tomiyasu, man. I don't care that it was 5-0. I love the fact you scored that goal. So Tomiyasu, big up you. One of the most underappreciated, unsung players at this football club, man. I love you. I love you to bits in this team. I think you do superb every time you come in. Whether it's left back, right back, centre back, you always put in a job. And that's so underrated because, look, it's very hard to one game play left back, one game play right back, one game play centre back. So, certain players, they lock down a position and they dedicate their life to that position. 10 years, 15 years, dedicate their craft to playing that one position. Tomiyasu is just a plug-and-play player. Arteta tells him left back. All right, this game you're playing right back off the bench for Ben White. Next game you'll play centre-back in the Carabao Cup, for example. And he just says, yes, boss. And he just goes and does a job, man. Drops a 7 out of 10, at least every single game. So Tomiyasu, appreciation for you. Kate Crib, appreciate your stream. My friend, they've been doing really well. I love Kai Havertz and Kivior. Yeah, look, I don't love Kai Havertz, to be honest with you, but if you love him, big up him, man. Kivior, I think, is a really solid player. I'll be honest with you guys, right? If Arteta started playing Kivior earlier instead of Rob Holding last season, we might have won the Premier League title. We might have done so. Because ever since Kivior swapped in for Rob Holding in the Premier League, our defence got more stable. Obviously, it wasn't as good as when we had Saliba and Gabriel at the back, but Kivior is miles better than Rob Holding. Miles better. And it was good he got minutes today because this is the thing, right? This is why I like the fact that Arteta played Kivior, Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson got minutes, etc. Because you never know what's going to happen. With football, it's a crazy, crazy game. Crazy things happen. We could get a freak injury to Gabriel Magalhaes and suddenly Kivior's thrust into the lineup. By giving him some minutes today, at least you've given him some time on the football pitch. You're getting him more adjusted to minutes this season because other than that, he's been sitting on the bench basically. So yeah, I thought that was really important. Because unsung heroes do happen in football matches. Look at Reece Nelson last season. Barely touched the football pitch and got the winner against Bournemouth in a goal no one saw coming, to be honest. So games like this are important. When you got the opportunity, rotate the squad. I was surprised Ødegaard did not come off the bench, to be honest. I would have definitely given him at least 15, 20 minutes to get his confidence back up after what, in my opinion, has been 3 poor performances for him against Man City, Chelsea and Sevilla midweek. But look, Arteta is the manager. He decides what's best. Maybe giving Ødegaard a full 90 minutes out of the team is a benefit because it gives him basically like a kick in the guts, a kick in the back of the head to say, look, bro, you need to pattern up your performances because you've not been good enough in recent games and no position is safe in this football club. So, yeah, why not, man? I back Arteta right now. And if he wants to do that, so be it. Havertz was great today, and if you watch the match, a lot of our chances were built up from Havertz winning the ball aerially. That is true, and that is one of the best things he brings to this team, Havertz. He does have the ability to win knockdowns, and we have the ability to play off him. So I will give you that for an absolute fact. I do rate that from Kai Havertz. But one thing I will say about Kai Havertz as well, yeah, is I do think he does need to be honest, he does need to also improve the fact that he can affect the games more going forward in terms of actually having a final shot in place. He's still not clinical enough for me, Kai Havertz. And that's me being completely honest. Now, is he at the point where we're relying on him to get goals? No, but I want my goals to come from multiple areas on the pitch. I don't just want the strikers to get the goals or just want the wingers to get the goals. I want players to score from multiple positions. Now, Havertz had a chance at the end of the game, and fair enough, it wasn't an easy chance, but I would have expected him to at least hit the target with that opportunity, and he didn't quite do so. Now, Havertz, I think, to be fair, his best position is striker in my eyes, a number 9. That's why I see him play in his best position. But the problem is, when I see Havertz up front for Arsenal, am I confident we're going to put the ball in the back of net? No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. If Havertz is through one-on-one, do I really think, yeah, this brother's going to score right here? It's a banker. I don't. Whereas if I see Jesus maybe. If I see Martinelli go through one-on-one, I think he's scoring. If I see Trossard go through one-on-one, I think he's scoring. Ødegaard's got a good chance of scoring. Players like that, I've got more confidence of them scoring the goal. Now, Havertz, fortunately, doesn't need to bag as many goals. We're not relying on him purely for goals in this football team. But I would like him to contribute more in that respect because the only thing he's got right now is a penalty goal. And it was a charity penalty, let's be honest about it. But I do agree with you in the fact that he is, with his actual aerial ability to win knockdowns, giving us a different sort of threat. That's why I want to see Arsenal sign Ivan Toney in January, because Ivan Toney will have the better aerial threat than Havertz, plus he'll have the finishing ability we've been craving. He's basically the perfect package for us. So yeah, Arsenal, make that happen in January. I will be dropping Arsenal transfer news when it comes out. So yeah, stay tuned for that. A very long VAR check on offside goal in Bournemouth Burnley. They will have to explain why after 3 minutes we saw the green line goal, then 2 minutes more looking offside. Yeah, I didn't watch the game, but that's very interesting. Even today, though, there was two times where VAR took a long time. Actually, 3 times. The second Eddie Nketiah goal, VAR took a long time to decide that one. The penalty on Vieira, VAR took a long time on that one as well. And the goal that Tomiyasu scored, VAR had a check on that one as well. So, yeah, they're taking a long time to really check over it, to be honest with you. But, yeah, it's just the way it goes sometimes. Games I request you to stream for next weekend. Fulham versus Man United, 12:30 kickoff. Yes, I'll be streaming after that one. Man City versus Bournemouth. I won't stream after that one purely because I'll be streaming for Newcastle versus Arsenal. And I'd rather prioritize the Newcastle versus Arsenal game. So, yeah. Luton versus Liverpool, 4:30 Sunday. Yeah, I'll stream after that one as well. And Spurs Chelsea Monday. Yes, I agree with all those, apart from Man City Bournemouth. My streaming schedule next weekend will be Fulham versus Man United, Newcastle versus Arsenal, Luton versus Liverpool, and Spurs versus Chelsea. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm happy with that one. Come on, bro. I want Havertz to do well, but the reality is he's been average at best so far. I'd say, look, I'd be a bit in the middle of you guys. I don't think Havertz has done well. I think he's been a little bit better than average. A little bit better than average. Look, has he been as good as £65 million? No, I don't think he has, to be honest. I think, to be fair, I would have much rather signed Maddison and save the rest of the money, or save the money and sign Ivan Toney with the money in January. My personal opinion, that's what I would have done. But there has been certain moments where if we didn't have Kai Havertz, we probably would not have won that football match. Case in point, Man City in the Carabao Cup and Man City the Emirates. So maybe Kai Havertz is just the difference for the Man City games. Maybe Kai Havertz is the difference when you play a team like Man City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, where you are unfortunately going to have less possession and sometimes will be pressed into your own half where you can't really pass out the back. That having Kai Havertz up front to win the knockdowns could be your difference. When Chelsea won the Champions League in 2020, on the way they beat teams like Real Madrid, Man City to win that Champions League, Kai Havertz scored the goal in the final. Kai Havertz was influential throughout his time in that Champions League run. So maybe Kai Havertz, in the majority of Premier League matches, when you play teams like Sheffield United, etc., won't be at his best. But maybe Kai Havertz, when you need him in those little moments against Man City or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, will come to his best and be that difference maker. That's what it's for. And how can you quantify how much that is worth? Because if Arsenal beat Man City even in one game last season, we would have won the Premier League. And if I told you we're going to sign a player for £65 million, but he will win us the Premier League, every single Arsenal fan on this planet would have signed the contract on that deal. So maybe that is going to be the difference. Who knows? The real answer is we don't know yet. Only time will tell. Nketiah was really great in attack today. I agree. Incredible first touches. The pressing was poor at first. But once he realized he could get a hat-trick, his pressing significantly improved. Brother, that is 100% true, man. I noticed exactly that. After he scored his second goal, he hunted down the goalkeeper on his press. It was unbelievable from Eddie Nketiah. It's that as soon as he saw he could score a hat-trick, he went all over the defense like a rash. It was crazy, man. Bro, confidence is a crazy drug, man. And being on a hat-trick, that gives you some crazy extra energy. Caught second wind. We aren't playing the same way we did defensively as last season. Now with this 3-back-4 hybrid we've got going on, Kiwior fits in a lot better than he did last season. I agree. And look, I'm not going to say that Kiwior is better than Gabriel Magalhaes because the quality of the opposition will, of course, mean that it's not a fair test. But I will say this. We've looked comfortable today. And in every game so far this season at the Emirates, bar the Man City game and bar the PSV game, we've been conceding at home. Even Nottingham Forest, we conceded at home. Tottenham, we shipped 2 goals. Fulham, we shipped 2 goals. Man United, we conceded. Today was the only game this season where we never looked like conceding. Sheffield United did not have a shot on target. Because then Raya, it could have been me in goal. Like, I know Raya obviously didn't have a lot to do today. And I know people say that on occasion, oh, the goalkeeper didn't have a lot to do today. Goalkeeper didn't really do too much. Genuinely, Raya had nothing to do today. I could have been in goal. You guys could have been in goal. My nan could have been in goal today. Raya had absolutely nothing to do, to be honest. So I think, to be fair, yeah, that if I'm honest with it, we did really well. And also, to be fair, I think that's a good thing because Raya in recent weeks has been a little bit under the cosh. Not just from myself, but from a lot of people saying, ooh, David Raya, or maybe it's time for Ramsdale to come back into the team. Raya's been making some mistakes, etc. So I think the fact that Raya had nothing to do today was a good thing, to be fair, because it allowed him to basically have a game off. A little bit of like a game where he's got nothing really going his way. Sorry, nothing really going against him. Everything just went his way. Nothing to worry about. Where he could literally just sit there and observe the attacking threat that Arsenal were putting on display. He had the front row seat, the Eddie Nketiah masterclass, basically. Watford only, long time no see. Is that Sajid, bro? Long time no see, man. Hope you're doing really well. Big up, Dennis. I was at the stadium for Watford 2-2 Millwall. Big up you, man. That would have been a good game. Unfortunately, Watford didn't get the victory. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it in that championship clash. Get the likes up. I agree. And if you are new around it, by the way, subscribe my road to 5,000 subscribers. I stream after every single Arsenal game. Havertz is not fast enough, so slow on the ball. I agree with that. He's 24 years old, not 37. Bro, Havertz is only 24. Bro, I thought he was older now. I thought he was 26. Damn. Well, Havertz, he's still a young boy there, man. He's still got a lot of time. He lacks pace and depth to be a top striker. I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. Exactly because he isn't a striker. Well, here's the thing. What is his best position? Because I would say his best position is a striker. I would see him as a false 9. I see him in that Antoine Griezmann position. Do you get what I mean? But here's the thing, right? I would just have gone for Ivan Toney because Ivan Toney will give you the aerial threat that Havertz gives you, plus he brings you goals. So I don't get the point of signing Ed. I know why he signed Havertz because Arteta saw Havertz as being at number 8 next to Odegaard. But from what we've seen so far in the sample size of 15 games so far this season, Havertz is much better as a number 9 than he is as a number 10. Case in point, it's just true. Kane got a hat-trick today too. He scored Bayern's first, 5th, and 8th goal. Bloody hell, Bayern Munich must have walked the floor. How? Bayern won 8 what? Did they win 8-0? Or what? How did they score 8 goals? Busy. All of Bayern's goals were in the second. They scored 8 goals in the second half. Damn, man. Bloody hell, man. Bayern on fire. Manu Neuer is back. And I watched Bayern Munich in midweek against Galatasaray in the Champions League. I thought they were average, to be fair, but they found a way to win the game. So fair play. Predictions for tomorrow. I cannot wait. I will be streaming for Manchester United versus Man City in the Premier League. My prediction is 2-1 Man United. I'm going for it. Why not, man? I'm going to go for Man United to win at home. It's a Manchester derby. Man United always seem to turn up at home in Manchester derbies. Then get absolutely taken to the cleaners away from home. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man United victory. But leave your predictions in the comment section or in the live chat right now. City 3-0. Bloody hell, man. I want Man United to win, to be honest. Liverpool 3-1. Who Liverpool playing? Is it Forest they're playing? Someone like that. Eddie, whoa, pause with that one, man. Eddie Hattrick today. Let's say that instead, buddy. Let's pause with that one. We need him though to fix this consistently, and his Hattrick could do so. Yeah, I mean, look, goals bring goals, right? It's confidence booster. But I will say this, to be honest, with Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, to be fair, is a goal scorer. That's what he brings to the table. He's good. He's better at home than he is away. I think away from him, he really struggles, Eddie Nketiah. I can't remember the last time I've really seen him put in a top class away from home performance. All his good performances, if you look back on Eddie Nketiah's good games, all of them seem to be at home. So I do think, to be honest with you, that I want to see Eddie Nketiah really put in a good run of fixtures, home and away. Because that's where we're really going to need him. Next week is Newcastle away. That's a tough football match. We need Eddie Nketiah to turn up. We can't have him just labour around the football pitch, trying his absolute best. We need him to put in a really good performance. And look, he's capable of doing so, but let's see how far he can go. Yeah, let's pause on that one, man. Rory on the green grass. Yeah. What does Poch need to do to get this team to get back to winning ways against Spurs and City? Consistency, team selection as well. Because look, it was unfortunate. They had no Enzo Fernandez there, no Mudryk. They were arguably their two best performers alongside Cole Palmer against Arsenal last weekend. So injuries don't help. I don't know where Chelsea get all these injuries from, to be honest. But it's just one of those things, man. Griezmann, yeah, top player in his day, man. That's my player comparison. The Bayern game was 10 versus 9 the entire second half. Lots of wide open spaces. That explains a lot. Yeah, it could also mean something else though, Rory, man. Maybe a bit too young, I don't know, but yeah, I would just say a hat trick, man. That's what I would call it. I know you're pushing Tony, but I highly doubt we will sign him. We aren't the Arsenal from 2 years ago. We have significant pull and significant backing, and if a player like Osimhen is available, I hear you. But in my opinion, guys, this might sound a little bit crazy, but I'd rather sign Ivan Toney than Victor Osimhen. I know it's going to sound crazy, but listen to me, man. Let me cook. I'll tell you why. Ivan Toney is proven in the Premier League. Now, Osimhen might be a top Premier League striker, but Ivan Toney is proven in the Premier League. He scored 20 goals last season in the Premier League. Third in the rankings behind Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. That's the first thing. 2, Ivan Toney wants to come to Arsenal. He said it. He said it on the Diary of a CEO podcast. He's mentioned his love for Arsenal Football Club. The player wants to come here. 3, he gives you, in my opinion, more of an aerial threat than Victor Osimhen gives. Now, Osimhen is good in the air. Make no mistake about it. But Ivan Toney is really good in the air. Like, this brother's a physical striker, man. Like, proper handful for defenders. And I've seen Ivan Toney go to Anfield and be a menace. I've seen Ivan Toney go to the Etihad and be a menace. He's done it on the big occasions. I've seen him come to the Emirates and be a menace. I want this Ivan Toney deal to happen. My dream January transfer window will be Ivan Toney and Pedro Neto. That would be it for me, man. 2 Premier League proven players and it was about 100 million, just over 100 million combined. Make it happen, Arsenal, man. Make it happen. Yep, I'm worth that already. I had nothing else to title my stream. It makes a bit more sense, man. Makes a bit more sense. I was going to title it, Your Defense is in Trouble, Eddie Nketiah is in the room. You know the Eddie Nketiah song. But there wasn't enough characters for that on the YouTube title. So yeah, unless YouTube want to add more characters to your titles, that wasn't going to happen. So I just called it Eddie Nketiah Hattrick. But yeah, regardless, I'm delighted with the way it turned out. And even more delighted with the Eddie Nketiah goal, to be fair. But yeah, overall, guys, man, delighted with how the game went. Absolutely delighted with it. We obviously are now still second in the table. We don't quite leapfrog Tottenham. But if you look at our fixtures, right? If you look at Arsenal's fixtures, because let's be honest about it, we've got Newcastle United next weekend, which is a tough game. Make no mistake about it. A very, very tough game. But after that, we've got Sevilla in the Champions League at home. Should be convincing. Saturday after, we've got Burnley at home. Don't want to jinx it. It will be tougher. Of course, it will be tougher than the Sheffield United. But that should be 3 points as well. Burnley at home. Brentford away. Brentford obviously won today, but they're not the same team as last season without Ivan Toney. Wolves at home. Luton Town. And then we've got a tough run of fixtures with Aston Villa, Brighton, and Liverpool. So we've got, to be fair, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our next 5 Premier League games are all winnable. Newcastle United is a tough game. But after Newcastle, we've got 4 winnable games in the Premier League. So I'm looking at it from this perspective and saying, we need to find a way to win these games, man. We need to find a way. And more convincing victories like this would be absolutely delighted. I'd be delighted with that. It's exactly what the doctor will order, to be fair. Because tough games will come. The Premier League has got a massive divide in my eyes. You've got the really good teams. You've got the really decent teams like the Brightons, the Aston Villas, the Newcastles, plus the Big Six. Then you've got a really big drop-off to the bad teams like the Sheffield Uniteds, the Lutons, the Burnleys, the Evertons, etc. Teams like that, let's be honest, are bad. Bournemouth, etc., another one. Sheffield United, like today, not good football teams whatsoever. Mudryk had a tiny injury, but as for Enzo, I don't know what it was. Some reports saying he was injured, but other reports say it was because his son was born. Oh, well, congratulations to him if his son was born. Big up him. So you pay Osimhen price for Tony because 6 million is their starting price. For Osimhen, nah, bro. Osimhen will cost at least 100 million in my eyes. I think Ivan Tony will cost about 65 with reports. I think he'd go for more than 65, but that is the market. That is the market rate. So look, Osimhen I think would cost more than 100 million. The only reason it costs less is because obviously there's turbulence between Napoli and Osimhen right now because of the whole situation, the racism going on there. But in terms of actual quality of a player, Osimhen costs an awful lot more money. And Napoli are always hard negotiators, man. Always been hard negotiators. Eddie on fire. His son was definitely born yesterday, though. So that makes a bit more sense. Enzo Fernandez is in elite debates and no one knows why. Now, he's a good player, man. Enzo Fernandez is a really good player. Whenever I watch him play, I see a real quality footballer there. I think that he'll be even better once Caicedo clicks in form as well. Because a midfield three of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and to be fair, Gallagher's been good in recent weeks, but I wouldn't put Gallagher in a midfield three for Chelsea, to be fair. I think that's a really solid midfield in my eyes. 60 minutes in Newcastle Wolves, 0-0. Not going to watch that game, to be honest with you guys. I couldn't care less about it, if I'm honest. But I will be watching. Newcastle I genuinely like to watch. Here's my thing, right? I like watching teams like Newcastle, Brighton, Aston Villa, but I can't watch them unless they're playing another big team. That's just how it is for me. But yeah, I can't wait to watch Newcastle against, Arsenal next weekend. And also in the Champions League against Dortmund in midweek, because that's an important game for them, man. After losing against them the midweek before at home, they need to bounce back in Dortmund and find a way to win. No, Tony's starting price is 60 million, I meant. Yeah, I'd sign him for 60 million. That's a good striker you can get for 60 million pounds. In this day and age, with inflation, with the market rate of strikers, it's very tough to get a top quality Premier League striker for 60 million pounds. Trust me, guys, man. Very tough to do that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it, man. That's just my thoughts on it regarding Arsenal in January, because it is an important January and there's 2 months to go until then. Dennis, how come Stevenage attendance was 1,385? Is it because Arsenal played 3 p.m? Because it's their lowest by far. That would make sense because a lot of Stevenage fans are Arsenal fans as well. I know a couple of those, to be fair. So that would make some sense, to be fair with you. So maybe they've gone to the Emirates instead of going to the Stevenage game. That does make sense. I personally think that they should stop the blackout rule anyway, to be fair with you, because you're going to go to the games anyway, man, whether you like it or not. I know that's different to the point you made here, but I just think in general, they should stop the blackout rule, because I don't know why I have to pull up an illegal stream to watch this game, to be fair with you. Like, I should just be able to watch this game on my Sky Sports or TNT Sports subscription, to be fair. But look, it's just the way it is. Remember, Enzo was more expensive than Rice. Compare the influence of Rice to the influence of Enzo on their respective teams. Yeah, look, Chelsea, we know they spend a lot of money. That's their caveat. Chelsea will spend and spend and spend for fun. The thing is about Rice, though, Rice is an unbelievable player, man. Unbelievable. Rice has been proven why he's worth 105 million in his already short spell Arsenal Football Club. Every single game Rice has played, there's not been one bad performance. Even the games where Arsenal have been bad, Rice has never been the worst one on the pitch. He's definitely been one of the better ones on the football pitch. So I do think, to be honest, yeah, that Rice has been really, really good for us, man. Really, really good. Do you think I should get tickets for Villa in the Conference League? Maybe. I don't watch Conference or Europa League, to be fair, but if you want to. I mean, I know you're near because, what's it called? Obviously, Coventry is near to Birmingham, right? But yeah, you definitely could do. Agreed, blackout rule doesn't affect most teams. Get rid. Yeah, I think so as well. They have changed the rules. So in 2025, they will be showing every single game that's not 3 p.m. now. So the games on Sunday will be shown live on TV. It will go from, I believe, 210 televised matches to 270 televised matches a season. But they will still keep the blackout rule. Who knows why? It's so dated. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles right now. It's just the way it is, man. But yeah, let's do player ratings, actually, because I haven't done player ratings in so long. So yeah, shout out anyone that misses player ratings. Let's get in some player ratings for the Arsenal game. In goal, let's go with who's Raya in goal? Raya, brother, I'll be real. Raya, I've got to give him a 6 out of 10, man, because he didn't do anything. Like, no offense, like, he can't get high because he didn't make any saves, and he can't get low because he didn't make any mistakes. Raya, quite literally, it could have been me in goal. It could have been Ramsdale, Karl Hein, Arthur Conquo, Manuel Almunia. It could have been me in goal. Could have been my dog in goal. Who knows, man? Anyone could have gone in goal, to be fair. USA lucky. Yeah, man. USA get every stream. USA, Bayern Sports show every single stream. I know people in Indonesia and Malaysia get a lot of the streams. South Africa show a lot of streams. It's annoying, man. They should use the model I told you about earlier. Yeah, potentially, to be fair. I think they should. I like the fact there's a lot of games on Sunday as well. I like the fact there's only 2 games at 3 p.m. today, because it means you can spread out the games. I would just show every single foot match. I would do 1 game on Friday, 4 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday, and 1 game on Monday. That's what I personally would want to do. Hello there, brother. Hello, Shazwa. I appreciate your stream, my friend. They're doing really well. Newcastle goal 1-0 up. Not surprised, to be fair. Wolves are not the greatest of teams, but how are Newcastle going to survive without Sandro Tonali now? Because they got fleeced, to be fair. But let's get into ratings. You brought your ratings up already. All right, let's get into it. I want to see Eddie Nketiah against big teams. Yes, agreed. Eddie Nketiah today is superb, but we need Eddie Nketiah to perform against the big teams, man. Turn up when we need you most. And what's better than next week Newcastle United away? Because that's a tough game, bro. That's a tough game, Newcastle away. We need you to perform in that football match, man. Turn up Eddie Nketiah. All right, let's get into the ratings. So, Raya in goal, as I said, 6 out of 10. Just didn't really have much to do. Can't give him more. Can't give him less than that. Let's go with the right back, Ben White. Played basically half the football match. I'll give him a 7, to be fair. Didn't really have much to do. The thing is, it's a shame, but these players aren't going to get high ratings if you're defenders because you didn't really have much to do. So I can't really judge in terms of your quality of performance because the grade boundaries are going to be so high because the quality of the test was basically easy. It was so easy. Saliba, give your also a 7, man. Because they didn't do any. How can I give them any more? They were just solid. They had nothing really to do. Right. Okay. I don't know what's happening there. I meant to type Kivior 7, but it typed all 7. Either way, Saliba and Kivior both a 7. Zinchenko is also a 7. It's just going to be a bunch of 7s, to be completely honest with you. Rice, I thought, deserves an 8. I thought Smith Rowe and Havertz both deserve a 7. I thought Saka also deserves a 7. Wasn't quite his best. I thought Martinelli was better. I'll give him an 8. And I thought, of course, up front, Eddie Nketiah, 10 out of 10 for a hat-trick, bro. One of the very few 10 out of 10s I'll give this season. Also, shout out to Trossard. I thought Trossard off the bench was brilliant as well. Really looking to take on his defender. So I really like that. Let's get into some of your ratings. Nketiah, 10 out of 10. Deservedly so. Zinchenko, 7. Saka, 7. Agree. Martinelli, 8. I agree with that as well. I thought it was slightly better than Saka. Elneny, 100. Big up Mohamed Elneny, man. That brother is the most, what's it called? That brother is genuinely one of the most role-playing footballers around. That brother will just do his job, man. He will not complain he's not starting games. He will just do his job. And he's a really nice guy to have around the locker room as well. So, yeah, I like Elneny, man. Rice, 9 today. Yeah, I give him an 8, but 9 is arguable as well because he was one of the players. In my preview to this game, by the way, guys, become a channel member if you're a diehard Arsenal fan like myself. It's a link in the description. I preview every single Arsenal match. And in that match, in terms of the key matchups, I said that Rice is a big part of Arsenal in this game because Sheffield United are going to play a low block. And I said that. I said, for Sheffield United to get some threats in the counter-attack, we're going to need Rice to nullify all of that and be that real glue and transition the ball from defense to attack. And I thought he did that superbly today. Tomiyasu came on and did really well on 8. Yeah, I big up him as well because he got a goal as well. What they should do is make the subscription on the basis of teams, say £25 a month for a team's games and £10 a month for a team's away games. Yeah, I said this as well, man. Definitely agree with that. Trossard's dribbling is solid. Yeah, that was really good today, man. Really, really good. Then do a special list, which is free fixtures every week. Then £50 a month, and the fixtures here won't be including the normal subscriptions for every team. Then £75 a month for every game. Yeah, I think pricing can be contested, but yeah, I think there's definitely going to reach a point where football is streamed, not necessarily on TV anymore, because NBA, NFL, they both have streaming packages. And secondly, will be a point where every single game is available, where if you want to, you can watch the game. It's just a matter of whether you're willing or not to pay for it. It's crazy how many players say how much they love Elneny behind the scenes. Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli have all talked about him. Exactly, man. He's just a really good guy to have around the locker room. Every team needs that, man. Every team needs a real good team role player around the dressing room. So I can just get the best out of everyone else. Because you guys forget it, yeah? People that are at school or at work right now, how important are your colleagues to your actual mental health and well-being at work? That's so important. If I didn't have the friends I had at university, my university experience would be miles worse than what it is. Miles worse. And Elneny is that type of guy that's a real nice guy around the locker room, man. And I do see that with Arsenal. I see we've got real patches of really... Everyone's friends with each other. But you've also got patches of really good friendship groups. You obviously got the Haaland boys, the Sakas, the Smith Rowes, the Nketiahs. You got the Portuguese/Brazilian boys, the Vieiras, the Martinellis, the Gabriel Magalhães, etc. You've also got the... What's it called? You got the players like the what's the guys? You got Gabriel Jesus to add to that, for example. You got the English boys as well. Ramsdale, Rice are good friends, etc. Elneny floats in around with all of them. Trossard's also good friends. I know Ben White. So you got real good friendship groups around Arsenal. So yeah, I'm liking the way the squad's built up. To be honest with you guys, really liking it. Zinchenko has improved defensively. I was worried about Nketiah, but he quenched my concerns with some very good tackles. Yeah, Nketiah obviously comes from Man City, so he's going to be a tricky customer growing up in the Pep Guardiola system. But I will say this, it is Sheffield United, so I'm not going to start to get overly infused with how well Zinchenko did defensively. But I do agree with you. I think overall today, I thought his defensive contribution was really solid. But yeah, guys, I'm going to start to round up the stream now. Do not fret. I will be back tomorrow for Man United versus Man City in what is a crunch Manchester derby on this channel. I do predict for it let's go for a 2-1 Man United win. That's what I did say before. As always, make sure to subscribe if you are new around here. More than 5,000 subscribers. Check me out on Instagram and on X. I've got the link in the description down below. And my YFootball Instagram is YFootball23. I'll leave it in the chat below, where I post clips from my streams, from all the streams I do. Make sure to check it out, man. Drop me a follow. I recently just launched it back up again. Already at 100 followers. Let's try and get up to maybe 200 in the coming future. Let's hope so. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone that's tuned to the stream today. A great stream. Appreciate Young Femi. Appreciate you leaving your thoughts down below, as well as everyone else that left their thoughts throughout the stream. I've been mindful. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Hope to catch you guys all in my next video. Take care.